Okay, now we can start. Still, many of the people are missing, but they will definitely join us here in a few minutes. So, we are here in our last session of professional ethics course. We learned so many aspects in this course, and currently we are dealing with the last module. The last module was divided in three different parts. So far, we completed two parts. That means two sessions were already discussed on this last module. Now there is one last part which is left and that we are going to do today. So in today's session, we'll discuss on many of the aspects, but before that, let's do the revision of what we have learned previously. So our last module is on global issue. As a part of that, previously we discussed that there are so many different sources of ethical problem, and there we got to know that there are five different sources. The first is failure of personal character. And if you remember, this we categorize as one of the major source of ethical problem. Mainly, the unethical things are happening because somebody failed in his personal character. We discussed that we even took the about Satyam Computers and Ramalingan Raju. So we got to know that Ramalingan Raju, who was the founder of Satyam Computer, behaved unethically. He wanted to get the profit share very quickly, so he selected unethical way. He played with so much amount as well. So it was a great learning that we had previously. After that, we discussed regarding the second source, which is conflict between it's a mismatch between what you consider as the correct way and how the organization is considering the correct way. Then there can be a mismatch as well, and it can lead to a conflict as well. Medicaid program, and it was very inappropriate, which he thought, and he took the corrective step as well. So there we learned so many things. After that, we discussed regarding so we got to know that if there is a mismatch between the personal belief, like for some of the people, some of the belief are if they are not acting, then it and gender biasness, sexual discrimination. Even this is happening there in many of the major companies, but most of the companies are not revealing their actual data. So this we discussed. After that, we discuss regarding popular hazardous product, but popular one. We are aware that there are so many products which are available in the market which are very harmful. At times, the problems do happen. But if we look at the other side, if these companies are not, if these companies are banned, then it can also lead to a big trouble. So many people may even uh, lose their job. So this do happen. So now let's go for the today's discussion. This we did a revision of previously discussed point. Now there are so many interesting things as well for you. So all of you need to pay more attention now. I will also start with one interesting activity. So you will get to know about that. Let me start the screen sharing of activity. So give me a minute. Yeah. So now my screen is visible to you. This is the third part of our last module, the global issues. Here we'll discuss on many of the aspects. Let's go for the first activity. So all of you be ready. I will show you one picture. I will also tell you what is that picture for. And then you have to present your thoughts. So let's see this picture. Now the picture is also visible on your screen. This is one of the advertisement in which this is the advertisement of jacket where they are saying that don't buy this jacket. This is actually not complete advertisement. I will show you the complete advertisement. I just selected a part of that advertisement so that I wanted to know about your thoughts, how you interpret this advertisement. So by looking at this picture, this is one of the advertisement. What you can interpret? So you can provide your answer there in the chat box, and let's get your
I
answer.
think I think this brand is trying to grab the attention of audience.
Okay, okay,
This is
Mahfouz.
completely fake. They are just trying to be dramatic.
Okay, that's Mahfouz view. What about other people? You can also participate here. Either you can write down your answer in chat box, or you can also unmute and then you can present your view. So this is very interesting advertisement. I will also share what is there and why they share this. So tell me, by looking at this picture, by looking at this is just a one part of advertisement. I haven't shown you the whole advertisement. So tell me, who's presented his view? What about other people? Yeah, Anand replied here. Let me read. So we will see other products of them. Okay. So this is also very nice, interesting answer. What about other people? Present your view and let's get everybody's view. Ayush, Anand, Anurag, Ayush, Ragani, Bansi, Darshan, Dhanraj, Dhruval, Drashti. I am actually speaking everybody's name so that you can feel the importance. You are very much important to me. Faisal, Panel, Hardik, Harsh, Hasti, Hetal, Eva, Jay, Jay, Vasauda, Janish, Krunal, Mansi, Margi, I was already replied, Mihir, Mishal, Monil, Mukund, Nancy, Nikhil, Parth, Parth Himani as well, Prachi, uh, Pratik, Ravi, Riddhi. There are so many people. Rishi, Sakshi, Sanjay, Santosh, Savan, Shrusti, Shyam, Umang, Umesh, Vachan, and Yash. Now I spoke everybody's name. So you are invited here to participate with your view. You just need to tell me this is not so difficult. I am just taking your point of view. It is it, it can be correct, it can be wrong as well. I will show you afterwards, but before that, present your view by looking at this advertisement, this part, what you can interpret about the brand. So far, two people replied here, and they replied interestingly, with a nice answer. So, okay, no problem. Let's go forward and let me show you the whole picture as well. Maybe this is the last session, and that's why your energy is very down. Okay, guys, let's go forward. Yeah. So let me show you some research figure. 75%. 75% is a big number. Here, according to research from one of the insurance company, Aflac, it is not about India, it is about the Western world, America. 75% of consumers say they will likely to take negative action against a socially or environmentally irresponsible company. So this includes posting on social media, abandoning a brand, or even organizing a boycott. Though this research is about America, but it is also true for India. We are also aware that when some companies are not behaving uh, socially responsible way or economically so according to Indian economics and sorry environmental is not so much big concern. But if we look at the social aspect, then yeah, we are also falling in this category. You can definitely take the example of recent time where India and China was having issue, border issue, and then many boycott movements started. People were also posting on social media that boycott Chinese products, and many of the applications were also banned by the government. So this is also quite related to our Indian society as well. So basically, from this survey, we can get to know that if company is not acting according to its social responsibility, according to its environmental responsibility, then they may lose their customers too. Because we do know that when majority of the people are having negative view, they will also present their view on social media. They will also influence their friends, family members, and it will create a big trouble for the company. So now let's go back to the whole advertisement. So we started with the part of the advertisement. Now let me show you this whole advertisement here. This is one of the advertisements. This is the complete picture. The actual message of this company was this, where they are focusing on many of the aspects. Patagonia is the name of that company where they are focusing on greenest product. So their motto is the greenest product is the one that already exists. So they are saying with their different message that reduce. That means we make useful gear that lasts a long time. You don't buy what you don't need. So it is saying that our product is long lasting, it is of good quality. So once you buy this, you won't require further buying as well. Second is repair. If you are already having our jacket, then you can definitely fix some of the broken things and you can reuse as well. So Reuse is the next one. We help find a home for Patagonia gear you no longer need, you sell or pass it on. So if you don't want to continue with the same jacket that you were using from last many years, so you can pass that jacket to us. We will find a suitable home for that. So it is very nice message. Further, recycle. It says that we will take back your Patagonia gear that is worn out. You place to keep your stuff out of the landfill and the so they are here suggesting that one should have to focus on the environmental aspects. Then reimagine is also there. So basically, with this advertisement, company is showcasing its environmentally responsible image. Further, we'll also discuss that if we discuss with the help of some figures, you can also relate. We are aware that Zara is one of the famous textile company. They are manufacturing clothes. So they replace their biannual clothing cycle with a weekly cycle as well. Why? Because there is a great demand. Because there is a textile consumption has increased by 400% in last 2 decades. We are also aware that earlier when we were buying some of the clothes on Diwali or some festival, it was an annual purchase, and that annual purchase was of 4 or 5 pairs, and then we were using that throughout the year. But nowadays we are also aware that you can definitely relate with this number that in the demand, the consumption also increase. Though one of the factor is population, definitely, but on the other side, we can also consider the people's need. Now, if we compare ourselves, we are aware that for every occasions, we are having at least 2 or 3 pairs of clothes. For party, something is different. For traditional, something is different. So there are different occasions and different pairs are also there. So this is about textile, but you can also consider about the footwears as well. So it is also quite related. So this number was declared in one of the documentary, the Trust Coast. They did research and we are taking a reference from there. So this trend towards a cheap, replaceable fashion has increased environmental pollution and doubled sweatshop labor in underdeveloped countries as well. This kind of increase, we are aware that it is in one way, direct way or indirectly, it is creating a big trouble for the environment. Because in manufacturing of any kind of product, it do require lots of energy and it will also emit lots of pollution as well. So in one way or other way, it is damaging the environment as well. Further, Patagonia insists, like we discussed about the previous part, that people buy less. The premium outdoor clothier has built a reputation for being ethical, environmentally friendly, and unorthodox in its marketing. Further, by this message, don't buy this jacket. The actual meaning is don't buy this jacket if you don't need it. So they are showcasing their uh, care towards the environment through this advertisement. Now, if you look at this part, as more millennials move into leadership and corporate ethics become a mainstay, authentic brands are poising to win big. There are two aspects. Nowadays, we are aware that companies are eyeing very high on certain targets. They wanted to get a great market share. In order to achieve that, sometimes they are also using inferior raw material because they wanted to survive there in the market. At the same time, also need to provide a product at very cost-effective price. So sometimes they may lead to unethical choice as well. But previously we also discussed that if company want to survive for longer period of time, then they also need to consider the ethical part. Now let's go forward. And now we'll discuss about the trade-off, the three aspects. First is business person often face tough ethical dilemmas such as whether to use inferior raw material to cut costs or to lay off workers to increase dividend to shareholders. So this is also one of the aspects. We are aware that every day new technology is coming in the market, and it is very difficult to for the company to stick along with the old routine process. They also need to adapt the new technology as well, because this new technology do help them in increasing production as well. And that's why in many of the companies, it is observed that they are going for the automation process. And they are installing a new technological machine so that they can get higher production. This is also creating a trouble, because if companies are installing a new technology machine in the production part, then many of the people, many of the workers are also losing their job as a effect of this. Sometimes companies are also choosing another way. They are selecting inferior raw material instead of good quality product, and they are offering at very low price so that customers can buy. You can definitely relate in current time that nowadays our gadgets are not surviving for a long time. Our gadgets are having very limited life cycle. Earlier, previously, our gadgets, our TV, our electronics were surviving for longer period of time. Nowadays, it is not. So this is also one of the reasons. Further, if we discuss about the constraint, which is also known as barrier, so many of the companies are finding this as a barrier regarding following ethical way or not. So they are seeing that lack of the time to contemplate and reflect on alternative course of action without compromising their ideals. Competitive business pressure is also one of the barriers. Next is complexity in ethical decision making. Sometimes the choosing a right path can also lead to a lots of confusion. For business, it is very common, because if a business want to go for ethical way, they will also lose many of the opportunities as well. Sometimes we are also aware that many times companies are going for a bidding process. There they are also choosing unethical way so that they can get the contract. So this is a part of business life as well. Further, if we discuss about to come at a solution part here. So first is trains sensitivity to ethical issues. One of the basic thing a company can do is to train their staff so that they can get the idea regarding what to choose and what not to choose. Further understanding the implication of the choices, then ability to evaluate complex, ambiguous, and incomplete facts. This training will help them about this, and the skill to implement ethical decision effectively. So this can be a solution. Further, now you can relate about current time as well. Uh, we are aware that in India, during this time duration, though it is written about November, January, but we can also consider October, like before Navratri time, like the current time. So in current time, we are seeing that there are lots of sales which are going on. Some of the sales are there on online platform, your favorite shopping website. But on the other hand, there are some offline sales are also there. So the purpose of having this sales is to get a pie of the market, and companies are even fighting. Like you are aware about the Amazon and Flipkart, they are currently having their own sales, Big Billion Day, and Amazon is having their Great Indian Festival. So these companies are also fighting with each other because they wanted to get a market share, a good market share. So as this time of the year, either individual or in uh, collusion with others, they resort to several practices that can be considered unethical, like fake discount. Sometimes it is also observed that the price was overcharged. It was first marked very high. Then few discounts were provided. Further is convincing consumers to buy products they do not require. This is happening in offline more as well as in online. If we discuss about the offline, then you are aware that whenever you are visiting a store with uh, something in your mind that you want to purchase this product, but the sales representative is getting a huge commission in some other product. So what they are doing is they are uh, telling you the unique features of the product which you don't longer buy, but they are using their marketing skills so that the customer will at the end buy the product which they want you to buy. In online mode, it is also happening. You are aware that once you check some of the products, it will continuously pop up on your mobile that recently you have checked this product. Now this product is available at great discount, a huge discount, likewise. So this is also one of the unethical practice. Further, selling a poor quality products. It is also observed that something was committed, but something else was given. The poor quality do result. Yeah, we are aware about this flash sale thing. Okay, further. Now we'll discuss about the influences on employees' decision making. Whenever employee is taking a correct decision, so there are few factors which are influencing their choices. So we'll discuss about all of them one by one. There are three actually. The first one is personal moral standards. We'll discuss about with the help of some example here in detail. Further, their workplace ethics and the culture. That's the next one. The third one is the nature of the issue concerned. So now we are going to discuss all of them in detail, one by one. So let's start with the first one, the personal moral standards. So to make ethical decisions, an individual has to recon two sets of values which they may coverage or conflict. First is his or her own. Second is that of his or her workplace. So we are aware that all of us are having our own different meaning regarding what is morally right, what is morally wrong as well. So moral philosophies do differ from person to person. What I am considering as a morally right may not be applicable for other people. Other person may think in a different way. For them, it is unacceptable. It was unethical. So we all are having our different idea regarding what is morally right, what is morally wrong too. At the same time, company can have their own different rules, regulations. Sometimes it may even conflict with the person's own moral philosophy. Like while we were discussing our previous session, we discussed that the example of Bear AG and George Pluto, who was the marketing executive. So you can definitely relate here. On the other side, sometimes we are also using our moral philosophy very differently. For our personal life, we are using our moral philosophy uh, very differently. And on the other side, if it is about our workplace, about our office, then also the moral philosophy do change. Let me give you example so that you can relate here. So just imagine that you are one of the reporting authority where you are given the authority to make the budget of your team. You are also aware that in company it is very normal practice in most of the organization that they are allocating some of the funds for companies uh, different posts. So let's imagine that your company gave you this authority in which you need to find out a particular figure, particular number with the different things which you require. So this is about kind of budget. So at that time, normally a person will quote very high price. They will go for a very high budget, even though some of the things are not required. But in the anticipation, they are even considering all those things in their budget. They think that if I'm going to keep some of the things here in my budget, right now I don't require, but in future I may require. So let's put that in. So there, a person will definitely make a big budget if there is no constraint from the company's side. The person will definitely quote a big budget. But let's say that the same person is given a task to make a budget for his personal, his household. So there you will observe that some of the things will get excluded because their constraint is there, and person will also find that some of the things are not so much important or not so necessary right now. So we can definitely cut on some of the aspects. So this do happen. This change in the moral philosophy towards a personal life and the work life may happen. We are aware that our moral philosophies are formed because of so many factors like family background, upbringing, education, quality of role models, cultural roots, religious belief, friend circle, the kind of media exposure he or she is attend to, a personal experience while growing up, organizational values, professional norms, law, politics, so political habits, and the stage of moral development he or she is in. So there are so many factors which are forming our moral standards, which are known as the factor, which are helping us in identifying what is correct, what is wrong. We do know that from family, from friends, from educations, from religious belief, we do learn so many things. But at the same time, media is also playing a big role. If we talk about the current time of media, then we are aware that nowadays media is focusing more on TRP. Many of the news channels are focusing just on that, and they are sometimes presenting their own biased view. So the people who are having the soft corner towards that point, they will definitely choose to have that news channel only, and it can lead to their moral philosophical standards as well. On the other hand, our personal experience while we are growing, the important aspect is the stage of moral development he or she is in. That means we can relate here with the cognitive moral development theory. If you remember, while we were discussing the third module, the ethical theories, we discussed that there are three different moral development theories. which were provided by three different people. So we can definitely relate that whatever stage we are in, that is also making an impact on our moral standard development. Let's take one example. So this is the example of Wipro and Azim Premji. We are aware that Wipro is one of the leading Indian brand. They are there in many of the category of products. And Azim Premji, who is the current chairman of this Wipro, is also a very famous personality. So there are two incidents that we are going to see one by one. So he once annoyed several other fellow capitalists when he said that rich people should pay more taxes in respect to some budget proposal. So this was one of the things which he said many times in many of the interviews. He was having belief that if you are earning a good amount of money, then you should also have to pay good amount of tax to the government as well. Though many of the people were not having this point of view because they wanted to think about their own self only. But from this view, we can definitely get the idea regarding how a great high moral philosophy Azim Premji is having. Further, he is doing so many great things like um Wipro has spent upwards of some 900 crores in Karnataka and in Andhra Pradesh, where it has helped build school infrastructure, improve standard of education, and so on. So, company this Wipro is doing a very great thing under the leadership of Azim Premji. Further, its donation to several government hospitals in Tamil Nadu is also very much an example of highest quality of business ethics too. Now let's discuss about one of the controversy which Wipro was facing earlier. So this is very old incident. Maybe you guys are not aware about this. So you are aware that Wipro is having many business units across India. So several years ago, one of the trade union leader was sacked. That means he was fired on the spot in the Mumbai when he faked a bill for 20 rupees. So there was one incident, one of the unethical practice, which was identified. One of the person used a fake receipt to claim a 20 rupees. So there was a fake bill of 20 rupees. We do know that 20 rupees is not so big amount, and for this, if you are firing someone, this is also not justified. But we'll get to know that why it is justified. Even for Wipro at that time, even though 20 rupees at that time was a big one, but for Wipro, a big company, 20 rupees may not make a big impact in their financial thing. But still, this step was taken because Azim Premji was having a firm belief that if you are allowing this kind of practice, then this will set the example in the among the remaining people, and all the remaining people will also follow in the same direction. So the company took the decision that let's fire this person, that let's fire this trade union leader. He was not an ordinary person. He was a trade union leader, and we are aware that when there is a trade union leader who is facing a problem, then it can lead to a big trouble. So the same thing happened with Wipro. A big strike also followed afterwards because the leader told so many people, influenced so many people, and everybody were there on strike. So this strike went on and on for 6 months, but and the demand was let's call that person back, let's call that trade union back in the organization. But Wipro was not doing it. That strike went on for 6 months, but that employee was not reinstated. Azim Premji, in one of the interviews, said that he would rather close the office than reinstate, that means call back or hire again the trade union leader. So this was his belief that wrong thing was done. and we are not going to, because of some pressure, we are going to take unethical step. So this is one of the example that we can consider, that a person who is having high ethical standards can do it. Otherwise, it is very difficult for the other people. If it is happening with the normal company, then you know that normally to go on track and to not have lots of losses, company will definitely, uh, normal company can definitely take that trade union back. But here in this case, Azim Premji and Wipro took this bold step. Even though they were losing so much of profit, they were even losing so much of money. Because we are aware that if a strike is happening, then it will also lead to a lots of losses for the company. This strike went on for 6 months, so it was a big period. Wipro lost so much of fund, but they were there on one point only, the ethical side. So this is a great example. Now let's discuss about the second one, workplace ethics. This is second influence. So when a person works in an organization, he or she has to recon a set of values that are part of the workplace, corporate culture, the set of belief, value, goals, norms, and the manner of solving problems that workers of the organizations share. We are aware that when you are going to join a company and the company is already having some rules and regulation, then as a part of that company, you should have to follow. Let's say, let's take two scenarios. First is, let's say that you are kind of person who is following, who is giving importance to the ethics more, and at the same time, your company is also in the same direction in with you, that we are also following the ethics. Then it will be very easy for the people to uh, continue with that same company. But if there is a mismatch, if a person is having a high ethical standard, but organization is not supporting it, organization is having complete unethical way, then it will create a big trouble. Let's go forward. Let's take the example of Sundaram Finance. This is a part of TVS Group. We are aware that TVS is a big group. So in Chennai, a TVS Group company called Sundaram Finance would serve all its senior citizen customers in 10 minutes flat, no question asked. Free financial advice is given on the tax matter as well. It has over 2,000 crores in the fixed deposit, mostly collected from a senior citizen. The deposit interest is not high, slightly more than what is offered in the bank. Still, the money comes. And why we are surviving with uh, great service? Let's see further. So some of the important services are there, like even in the first paragraph we discussed that there's no question asked policy. They are even giving free financial advice. Further, the interest is also credited on one day in advance every time. If the first of the month is holiday, not a single amount of the interest has ever been unpaid to any customer at any point of time. The organization has a huge network of borrowers who also repay dues on time, as they know the value of TVS. And you are also aware that TVS, the full form of TVS is Trust, Values, and Service. One of the interesting things that we would like to discuss here about TVS is the different TVS group companies have one thing in common in all their factories. Each employee carries home a small gift in terms of uh, some eatable, like a small biscuit packet, packet of banana chips or potato chips or so on. Though this is very small gesture, but it is a very nice gesture. This is kind of illustrative of philosophy of the TVS group, care and share. So from here, from this example, we can get to know that company is taking care of their employee so well. This is also reflecting in their result. The company is also getting a result because of that. So this is also reflected in the fact that there are third generation employees happily working in the same TVS group. The quality of the products of the TVS group is world class, which itself communicates the best to the best in the class customers like General Motors and the Ford. So they are focusing on this aspect. Many of the staffs are there from last many years with the same company because they are happy with the behavior of the group. Further, let's discuss about the third influence. The third is the nature of ethical issue. Sometimes uh, the organization is focusing on the correct way. They are focusing on the ethical side, but some unexpected thing may lead to a trouble as well. We are aware that organization is having multi-racial, multi-religious belief people. So consider a factory where thousands of workers belong to a particular religion want to conduct a religious ritual or sacrifice animal to propitiate a goodness. But what about the minority? So minority people may think that we are discriminated here. Sometimes it can lead to a big trouble as well. And we are also aware that in India, uh, discrimination on the basis of religion can lead to a big violation as well. People may become violent. Some kind of things do happen. Let me give you an example. You can definitely relate there. You must be aware regarding the national anthem in the movie theater. So this issue was not so much old. It just happened in last year. We are aware that whenever you are there in movie theater, in the initial time, they are playing national anthem, and at that time, to respect our national anthem, everybody should have to stand. So in one of the city where people were there in the movie and this national anthem was playing, at that time, few peoples were not getting up, and this lead to a big argument with the rest of the people as well. And the that heated argument led to a big fight as well. And then the controversy started. But at the end, it was also got to know that those people were handicapped. They were unable to stand, and that's why they were not standing. So sometimes our patriotism, our religious belief may create a big trouble for the company as well. So if we look at this particular case, can the management either overtly or overtly support the same and make every worker fall in a line without being concerned about the sentiments and susceptibilities of other workers, even if they are in a minority, belong to other religion? So this can be a big trouble as well. Okay, so here we are ending, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's session. We discussed on so many aspects. Now we will go for the attendance part. And you are also aware that we are taking the attendance in Google Form. So just a minute, I am about to share the Google Form link with you. Yeah. So guys, I just pasted the Google Form link there in your chat box. All of you are requested to go on this link and please mark the attendance. If you are having any doubt query, you can definitely stay here, post your doubt query there in your chat box, and we'll discuss on that. And if not, and after you complete the attendance, you are free from my side, so you can definitely go for your next activity. Yeah, great, Ravi. I hope you competed.